Hi guys, this is Katie and today I'm going to talk to you about what it's like teaching in China at an international school. So if we haven't met before, me and my husband live in a place called Tianjin, which is just outside of Beijing in China, and we love living here and we just share lots of videos about our life here in China and travel in China. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hit subscribe. Right, so I'm now at school, and the reason I have two big bags today is because we've got lots of stuff going on. So to begin with, today we are starting our persuasive text for literacy, and they have to do their cold write. And because cold write is, they won't have done persuasive text this year, they might not have done them that much last year. And I want them to really get into it and get excited about writing a persuasive text. And a cold write is just kind of an example of what they can do without the help of a teacher, without like too much guidance. So what I've done is I've bought a load of sweets. They have had a really busy week. They've had Mandarin assessments all week, and it's been a little bit stressful for them, bless them. So I figured I was going to get a bowl. I've got some sweets with me. I'm going to get a big bowl and put the sweets in there, and then they have to write a letter to persuade me that they should be allowed a sweet. So we're going to talk about it to begin with, share some ideas about why they think they should be allowed a sweet, and then they can write me a letter to try and persuade me, and if they do, then they can get a sweet. I just thought it'd be a kind of fun way of introducing persuasive text without it just kind of being it's cold write time, because it's not really... It's a great way to like pre-assess children, but you have to make it interactive, otherwise you've lost them. So my persuasive text for our topic is going to be talking about like the rainforest and deforestation. So I'm going to transform our class into a rainforest. We're actually going to read the Great Kapot Tree. So we're going to read the narrative together and talk about why we need to save the rainforest. Hello? So today I learnt that using sweeties to motivate children to do writing is the best idea I have ever had. So, teaching in China. Well, I have taught in China now for like 2 years, and I thought it was about time to share what my thoughts on teaching in China were. I get a lot of people that ask me questions about what it's like to work abroad here in China, what it's like. A lot of people are interested in teaching English abroad in China, but quite a few of my colleagues, like from back home in England, people who want to move abroad, are always asking me what it's like to teach at an actual international school, because I think teaching at international schools over here is much different from like teaching English over here. So yeah, I thought I'd share my thoughts with you today if you are interested, and also if you do have any questions, do make sure you leave them in the comments below, or you can go over to our travel blog, which is creativetravelguide.com, and I have lots of blog posts on there about China, but also you can email me directly at katie@creativetravelguide.com if you have any personal questions about moving to China or anything like that, because I know when I first signed my contract to move over here, it was like the scariest, most daunting thing ever. So firstly, the day. So my day here is much different to what it used to be like in the UK, and actually the length of the day that I'm at school is probably a similar length. So I used to go into England, when I was in England, I used to go into school at like 7, half 7, and I used to leave about 5. And that's pretty much what I do here. Sometimes I'm able to leave a little bit earlier, sometimes I leave a little bit later, but generally speaking, I come in about half 7 and I leave about 5. But the biggest difference is what you do in the day. So in England, I would teach all day, every day, and I think I would have like a Wednesday morning. In my last job I had here before I moved here, I'd have a Wednesday morning, so I'd have 2 hours in the morning free to do all my planning and my marking. And I'll be honest, I didn't get any planning and marking done. Like we would have like year group meeting conversations and discuss what we were going to be planning, but then every evening and every weekend I was planning, so I didn't really get any time to do it when I was at school. But here, because we have so much free periods, so the children in my class do Mandarin every day, so you have at least an hour free to do all your planning and marking. But then you also have things like PE, swimming, music, where they have like specialist teachers, so you have extra free periods as well, which is really helpful. And it just makes your timetable so much easier and more manageable and so much more enjoyable to do, because you're not stressing about like, am I going to get this plan done? Am I going to make sure all of these books are marked in time? So it's just a lot easier to kind of manage because you get everything you need to get done in your day, and your timetable, like the actual like physical day, feels much more productive, and it doesn't feel like you're being like, in the UK I felt like everything was like on top of me because there was so much stuff to do, and there is loads of stuff to do, but you just have more time to do it here. Hi guys, so it's lunchtime now. I've just picked myself up a wrap and a yogurt and an orange juice because we've got lots of stuff that I need to do. Our afternoon has changed completely. So my children were meant to be doing a swimming gala all afternoon, and it's now been cancelled because our year 4s just came back from a trip and they had their swimming gala this morning, and they've all got really sick. So I don't know if they got food poisoning or something, but I think they're just worried about like germs being spread. So they've closed the pool and the swimming gala is cancelled for this afternoon. It is a bit of a drama here today. That is my day so far. It has been a really fun morning actually, and actually that's something that I do, like when I'm thinking about my thoughts about school, one of the things I love is like how you can be creative and do your own thing, and like we have a set curriculum that we follow. So we're a British international school, we follow the British curriculum, but we have a lot more kind of leeway with how we teach things and how we approach our lessons. So it was really nice today being a little bit more creative and having the children like they had to write me a persuasive letter to persuade me to have sweets, and they loved it, and it was so nice, bless them. And also we just spent the lesson, the last lesson, making some roses and some Mother's Day cards as well. So that was really nice. It was just like a nice kind of relaxed morning this morning, and yes, so now I have 2 free periods, which is great. And then after school I'm converting my classroom, so I'm gonna stop talking and get on with some work. But yeah, that was my summary of I like doing creative things as a teacher. So I'm on my way home now, and my day changed a little bit. So I think I last finished off showing you my transformation of my classroom, and halfway through transforming my classroom to a rainforest, we had someone come around and say that actually we all needed to leave the building because they were worried about the I think I mentioned that year 4s weren't very well, so they were worried about the room being like unclean, so they were going to disinfect the whole building, and we had to leave in the next 10 minutes. So I left a lot of my stuff just there because I was like, you know what, I put up half my rainforest now, hopefully they can just clean around it. But so I'm going to go in early on Monday morning and finish off my rainforest. My colleague Riza is amazing. She is an EAL teacher at our school and she's just fabulous, and she's going to come in on Sunday and finish some bits and bobs off as well, so that's been really helpful. So hopefully that should all be ready for Monday morning, and I will show you what it looks like on Monday morning as well. But yeah, so that's a bit of a turn of events. Good morning guys, it is 7 o'clock on Monday morning, and I think we last dropped off when I was sent home on Friday, but I am heading into work now to finish off sorting out my classroom for our rainforest hook, and I will show you a little bit as we go because I know I was kind of still filming a video on Friday, so I do apologise. That is the wonders of working in an international school. Lots of things can change randomly for no given reason. And we have a rainforest. Guys, it's now like nearly 10 o'clock. I'll be honest, I had my lesson this morning because when I came in, I spent an hour like getting everything sorted with one of my colleagues, Riza, who was just amazing. She came in earlier to like hang stuff from the walls for me. She's amazing. So we like converted the whole classroom, and then we had the lesson. The kids absolutely loved it. Now they've gone to their music rehearsal, so I have time to quickly show you around to show you what I've done. So as the children come in, we have like this grass rug at the bottom here, and we have a little tree here. Riza made this herself, and I bought these like kind of balloons that you kind of pop in there. Oh, and there's also a little owl around the corner. And then we just kind of covered leaves across all of the displays, so we have lots of different kind of animals popping around here, different kind of balloons popping up as well, which the kids loved, and just leaves everywhere. And then up here we just like, so I literally just bought some like these types of leaves from Taobao. They were really inexpensive, like 6 RMB for like a pack of 2, so I just bought loads of them. So I have some hanging from the ceiling. And then I've just kind of like decorated like the book areas with it, decorated the displays with it. My like Riza put all of these up on the ceiling as well, which is fantastic. It really gives it a great effect. And she also cut up some animals, so we have a sloth hanging from here as well. And the same thing in our book corner. I actually really like this. I think I'm going to keep these types of things in my book corner in future, like make a little rainforest for the book area, because I think it's really nice. I also put some around. This is my like reading tent, so if a child needs some like quiet time, they pop into here. So I've got some leaves around there, and then it just kind of carries on. Then we've got some like flowers on all of the cupboards down here, and then again some like animals along the top with lots of leaves. And then my table has been converted. I put some leaves on the front here, and we have this kind of drape thing across the back here with a little butterfly in it. And I've got some more animals here. We also have some like leaves and stuff across our ICT, like all the laptops are in here. And I also played some music this morning when the kids came in, and the whiteboard is covered with leaves. Right, so that's my room, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I've taken some photos actually, and I'll put them onto my personal Instagram. This is Katie, so I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to follow me, and you can have a look at some of the photos up close there. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's like turned out. It looks really cool. So now my children are in choir rehearsal, so I have some time to just kind of get on with some work now. But yeah, I think one of the things I love about teaching at an international school is that you do actually have this space for creativity. You have this time to do creativity as well. Like, I would love to do things like this in the UK, and I did do things like this in the UK to some extent, but because we didn't have as much time to kind of plan stuff, because we didn't have enough time to plan stuff, because we didn't have enough time to get things together, you know, I don't think I ever did something like as, you know, to the scale of this. So I really like the fact that not only do I have the time to do it, but I also have the ability to do it in the sense of like, I'm not going to have someone moan at me about it. I'm not going to have anyone saying it's a bad idea. Like, I can just do what I want to and teach the way I want to. And I think that freedom of being able to teach the way I want to is a big reason why I love teaching at international schools, and they're always open for you to like trying a new thing, trying a new way of teaching. When I came to this school, they had never learned, like they've never done taught for writing before, and I'm a big believer in using taught for writing and literacy, and they were like really happy for me to just go ahead and try it and trial it in my classroom, see how it goes, and let people know like the positive effects of it and things that need to we need to develop on. So I think, yeah, that's my point, is I think one of the things I love about teaching internationally is that you do have that scope to really kind of experiment with the way you teach. So yeah, and I love doing creative things like that. I'm quite a creative person, so being able to do these types of activities, and I know I do a lot of other kind of creative things here and there as well. So yeah, I really like being able to do that and being allowed to do that.